you are going to begin to see big brand name so-called conservatives start pumping out palantir propaganda slop. They're going to pivot into finally criticizing the invasion of the data centers that the tech vampires are plopping down everywhere. The tech vampires are throwing down on farmland across the country. And they're already thinking about how they can send into the sky self-assembling data centers, probably so they can keep them far away from where us Luddites can unplug them. We even have Larry Fink from BlackRock saying he's worried about the average citizen 9/11ing his data centers with cheap drones. But you're going to see this shift now. I'm seeing it already happening amongst a lot of these bigger influencer types. They're going to say the data centers are bad. They're going to point out certain enemies within from within Silicon Valley, like the easy targets, the Zuckerbergs, the Altmans, but because those are traditionally the political enemy of MAGA. But the enemies are also Peter Thiel. And, he's not that bad. He only emailed Jeffrey Epstein about 2,000 times. But Palantir's not that bad. Peter Thiel's not that bad. They're MAGA. Peter Thiel gave a lot of money to Trump. Peter Thiel gave us J.D. Vance. Peter Thiel is J.D. Vance's father the same way he's Clavicular's father. These are creations out of Silicon Valley that subvert ideas like masculinity and religion and populists and Republicans. Vance is just fat clavicular. Vance is just an inauthentic creation of Peter Thiel's to be installed in the White House. So when he becomes the king of the technocracy, his buddies from Silicon Valley who created him are going to be doing just fine. And Vance will turn the weapons of the surveillance state against the American people who are extremely critical of the invasion of the data centers, of the algorithmic state. And the problem is with a lot of these people online who think they're conservatives, a lot of them are these baby-faced, childless influencers who came of age during 2020, during the riots, during lockdowns, and they're rightfully angry. So they are willing to become the thing they hate to destroy their political enemy. And they're just as bad as the left. They might think they have morals, but they're willing to sell out those morals to Palantir, which is a CIA-funded data scraping digital death machine that is used for pre-crime, that is already being used in places like with the IDF in Gaza and AI Lavender, that has a huge error rate that kills innocent people. You might have seen something similar with the accusations of Anthropic and the targets that the government, our government, were targeting in Iran, which led to the dead innocent Iranian schoolgirls, which is insane, an insane thing. So you're seeing the younger, baby-faced, childless, patriot, podcaster class go gung-ho on being warhawks, neocons, pro-Palantir, because Palantir is their friend. Palantir is just as bad as Zuckerberg, if not worse. Palantir is the CIA. These institutions from within our own government have all been turned against the American people. And Peter Thiel knows exactly how to install people to subvert narratives. These are very smart people. You cannot underestimate how smart they are. And then you have the pretentious, mostly wealthy influencer class that is MAGA, like the MAGA nobility. And they pretend to be critical of this administration, I think only to get the dissenting voices on their side. But they're full of it. And they're pro-Palantir. They're pro-Peter Thiel. And let's not forget that the CEO of Palantir, Alex Karp, is a wacky inflatable meth head who talks about operating the kill chain, who has called himself a socialist, who talked about crushing the so-called far right, whatever that meant. Probably he defined it the same way Joe Biden did. And He was happy to help deliver the warp speed death shot around the world. These people are sick. These people are sick. They had to rebrand to MAGA for survival. There is no reason to believe these people are on your side and they're here to help you. It is as bad as the government saying, hey, we're the government, we're here to help you. They don't mean it. They're here to help save themselves. They do not care about your freedom. They do not care about your rights, and they do not care about God. Even though they claim to be God, they act like they're God. They claim to be godly. It's all fake. A good example of how this is so beyond politics, and that this isn't just about, siding with Palantir because they were MAGA friendly. It's about realizing that all these people spilling out of Silicon Valley are here to destroy the world and create a world in their image, in their transhumanist, globalist image. That's what they want. They're trying to create a heaven on earth, which you cannot do. But that's what they want. That's why they're trying to create their little private city heavens. And they're all into this, from Peter Thiel to Hoffman and Mark Andreessen. That's a good example of how these people are how they're operating against the interests of the people and against farmland. So here we go. California forever. It is this idea of making a private city in, I think it's Northern California. Mark Andreessen and Reid Hoffman. These are all PayPal people. Well, Andreessen's not PayPal people. PayPal Mafia being Elon and Reid Hoffman and Peter Thiel, of course. And so Reid Hoffman, allegedly, him and Elon don't like each other, but Andreessen was part of Doge with Elon. Andreessen's a big venture capitalist. He's a guy who looks like the Conehead. He wrote the Techno Optimist Manifesto, which is like the opposite version of the wonderful manifesto written by my favorite writer, Ted Kaczynski. And go read Techno Optimist Manifesto. It's ridiculous. And while you're reading it, know that Andreessen has robot dogs guarding his property. Andreessen is also on record saying that his job is safe from the coming AI apocalypse that will destroy all jobs. It's not, because no one's as safe. But and Hoffman being LinkedIn and all that stuff. So anyway, these guys work together. Andreessen and Hoffman. There's a few other people involved, and they want to buy all this farmland in Northern California. Farmers say no. So Forever California, or California Forever, turns around and sues all the farmers into oblivion. $510 million lawsuit, I think. And all these and then California Forever says these people are colluding against us to raise the prices. But they were saying we never want to sell. Some of these are 100-year-old farms, and they had no intent of selling. So Andreessen and Reid Hoffman sue these farmers for years. And then the farmers have to sell because they've been sued into oblivion. But these people care about you, and they care about farming. So it's not a data center story. I mean, they might be building data centers. This is more of the private city narrative that comes out of so many people. Like Thiel has his floating city and all that stuff. Elon has his city he's dreaming about on Mars. This goes so beyond politics. Do not fall into the trap that will be laid for everybody on the conservative side of things, saying we are critical of data centers taking over our land. Palantir will save us. And it's not even that Palantir is building data centers. I think they mostly outsource all their stuff to other data centers, but they need data centers. But this is going to be the narrative shift that you're going to see now with these propagandists online, while they see that the people are upset. And so they need to not turn on the people, while also putting out propaganda that will make it so you are on the side of Palantir. But Palantir will never be on your side. They are the surveillance state. They are the golden dome that Elon will help build. They are the social credit system, without a doubt. That's what this is all about. And they're all happy to inflict this onto you. None of them want to help make a better future for you. They want to create a manufactured heaven on this planet, which is actually hell on earth. It's actually hell on earth. We have to push back against this invasion against our privacy, whatever's left of it. The social credit system's pretty much already been installed. The data centers are not here to help AI for you. That's The AI was like the carrot on the stick to get everyone addicted to AI, to outsource all creativity, the workforce, relationships. The FBI is using AI now for all their tips. It was created at first as a drug, as a digital fentanyl to get you on board, so that if they ever took it away, you'd be pissed because you're addicted. The data centers are there to sustain the surveillance state that they are creating. It's been in progress for, I mean, we could say decades. We can go back to COINTELPRO and all this stuff and the wiretappings and all that great stuff. But post 9/11, the surveillance state accelerated, as did Palantir. And now we are in the evolution, the final stage before they completely take over, where the drones with their facial recognition are watching you at all times. The facial recognition that will be in the drones will be from the company Clearview, which is also Peter Thiel related. And they scraped every image off the internet so they could put your face in their database. And their CEO said that is their company's right because that is freedom of expression. They will use everything you love and believe in against you. They will subvert your religion. They will subvert your idea of rights and freedom and safety to get you on board with their death machines, with their death of privacy, and their dystopian, man-made, so-called heaven, which will actually be hell on earth.